What are you doing?
Like, oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Player one. Prepare yourself.
Don't forget cards to get cards at RitaYanez.com. And so am I. Under your bed.
Turn on the light! Turn on the light!
Hi there, Virgo. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 14th through 20th. I hope you're doing well, everything's going your way, and that you're excited about the upcoming holidays in whatever way you celebrate them. There's so many different traditions, right? There's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I had a couple others in my head I was trying to remember, but there's so many different ways that people get together in the spirit of something peaceful and sweet, and I hope that's the way it works out for you. So the first card that you've drawn on Monday is the Page of Cups in reverse. This is a card that indicates there could be some surprises that come around corners, and you may not really like what they are. For the most part, these are usually emotional messages related to the cups, but really, in the end, this is a card that indicates, I think, for you guys this week, that the surprises were something that you could look back in hindsight and say, I should have known, because at this point I knew there was something up here. And so once you make that connection, don't just dismiss it and say, yeah, well, what good does it do me now that I realized I didn't listen to my gut instinct and what I thought was going on, let's just say in a boyfriend-girlfriend scenario. Not saying that that's what's happening to you, but just something that you can identify with. Let's just say it's your friend's boyfriend. She and he are dating, and you always get a weird feeling about him. And whenever you're out, you feel like he's just checking you out, and you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings. But when she says, how do you like him? You're like, well, I guess he's okay. And hoping that your leading answer will cause that person to say, why do you seem unsure? So this is something that is kind of akin to using your psychic gut to eventually get it sharp enough to where you could anticipate certain situations and certain people. Like in that situation with your friend's boyfriend, you probably already feel uncomfortable enough if this person is look at you in a weird way, like studying your shoes or studying your legs or something, that you wouldn't want to be left alone with this person. And that's the kind of energy, I think, for you guys that this card is strongest for, that is saying you're no longer oblivious. You almost don't have the excuse of naivete, in that you can't just say, well, I didn't know what was going on, I'm only 14. Well, you might have been able to tell that there was something making you uncomfortable about a situation or a person, and I think that you will have successfully avoided whatever that situation becomes, what it is, and you will quickly remember what I'm telling you, and you'll look back and go, oh my God, now I know what she's talking about. It could be that you're taking a test and you know that somebody's cheating by looking at your paper, and you're just kind of ignoring it because you're just trying to do your work. And then when you make eye contact with that other student, the teacher sees it and is able to say, both of you up here right now, and you're like, I don't even know this person. And if somebody else is cheating off of me and I'm concentrating, I can't be worrying about what the person next to me is doing. That kind of energy that can avert a situation. You can successfully avoid a problem by being aware of people and situations that are your environment. Also, the sun squaring Jupiter in Virgo, sun in Sagittarius, your solar fourth house of stability, your home base, and Jupiter in your first house of self. You might be able to realize finally that your intuition is much stronger than you previously realized, which all of this comes naturally, and over time we just hone it by sharpening our feelers and feeling things like, I feel weird every time I walk into the bathroom in this supermarket. And then eventually you might figure out and corroborate why you feel that way. Some weird news or article in the paper or on TV about something scary happening there. So keep that in mind. Tuesday, you've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. And this is a card that indicates that there could be somebody coming at you with some accusations or with some argument or even just attitude that is out of line, that you're able to say to yourself, why are you taking this out on me? And it could be that somebody says that to you, but the reality of the matter is that while Mars is in Libra, your solar second house, even though for most adults that's a house that would talk about their possessions and their resources and the money that they make from their job daily to buy those things that are needed for the house, like detergents and food products. For you guys, it could actually be your personal possessions, i.e. when I've used the idea of having a really great flat iron and lending it to your girlfriend because she insisted and hers broke, and then you never see it again because something else went wrong. That's the kind of energy that Mars and Libra in the second house can bring up, where we get defensive and we're not feeling as calm and passive as we might usually. And on Wednesday, we've got the Temperance card in reverse. And this is just a card that indicates that you might be feeling like you can't get control of a particular situation, or that there really is a situation that you want to change or see it play out differently, like being shipped around for parents' visitation and missing your friends and wanting to take them with, and different dynamics that could be a part of your world, being a young person and experiencing things that the crabby old people forget. And if that's the case, it probably really is a situation that is beyond your control, but it doesn't mean that you are helpless. You can take the example I've given to some other young people here and explaining that it might be best for you to plan out how you think it might work better realistically next year, so that far in advance you're able to say, like the examples I've given you, let's say you live with your dad and mom has a new boyfriend and he is a bastard douchebag, and you're so uncomfortable when you're there and you don't want to have to spend that much time there, and you say, can we make a deal where we alternate? Now that I've gone to see them this year, next year I'd like to stay still and not be there. And just because like a divorce and custody agreement says that certain things are supposed to go a certain way, it doesn't mean that they can't be renegotiated between the parties. It's not like this is a title loan on a car you're buying, and if you stop paying on it, they're going to take it away. This is more to the effect of trying to find win-win situations, and I think you can. In fact, I know you can. On Thursday, we have the Queen of Pentacles upright, and this is a person who gives very solid practical advice. She could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or not. She could just come across as very practical and solid, and she might be the one to give you some advice. And if she does, it will come across as very sweet, very caring. Maybe it's one of your friend's mother that says, well, I can't really get involved in saying what's best for you, but maybe you can write an action plan of what some of your ideas are. And she could be giving you the same advice, right? Venus in Scorpio, your solar, why can't I see today? Your solar third house of communication indicates that you could be coming up with some new ways to communicate what would serve the greater good for everybody, right? You know how they say this old sayings, happy wife, happy life? Well, how about happy child, less drama? Like if you can help to grease those wheels, Pluto and Capricorn, your solar fifth house, could really help you work things out at home on a home environment level with the help of this person. And she could just be a best friend who just isn't necessarily much older, but comes across as wiser. It could be one of your friend's sisters, somebody around their home environment. Friday, we've got the Page of Wands, so there's some news being communicated either excitedly or loudly. This is a card that could indicate some gossip, although I don't believe it's necessarily malicious with you guys. It's more of an indication of these energies that are manifesting in your desire to communicate and clear the air. And on Saturday, we have the Magician card, and this is a card that just indicates if you stay strong in yourself and the courage to do what you think is the best and to not do anything that rocks the boat and down the line causes you more trouble, you can think your way through this. Just because you have to go visit a relative, and even if your mom says something like, look, I know you're not happy there, but you're a little too young for the court to recognize what you're saying you want to do, and all we need is for your dad or somebody's screaming girlfriend to haul us back into court to try to create more noise. And so this is where you're being asked to take up your tools, to take up your knowledge and experience and wisdom that you've gained thus far, including what could be given to you this week. And within yourself, make a conscious decision that you're in control of your life. And okay, so it could be put on hold for a little while until you graduate and you go directly into college as you should. And so you will be making more decisions for yourself as we move along in life. And even though I know it could feel like a snail's pace because you're not so bogged down like old people are, and that's what makes things feel like you just can't wait till next Friday because it might as well... Excuse me. I had to take my son early this morning to test at the college, and I'm like falling asleep. So this is where you could take it upon yourself to calm yourself down and self-soothe, knowing that soon enough, I promise you, even if it feels like the ancient wheels aren't turning no matter how much grease you put in them, that things are going to work out for you. Just remember how unique and wonderful and special you are, and that even difficult circumstances or confusing, conflicting types of early home life experiences will just make you one day, believe it or not, in your 30s or 40s, when you start to think about having kids, you're probably going to be one of the best parents ever, because you're going to say, I'm going to listen to my kids, okay? I'm going to do as much as I can to take their needs and their overall general health and happiness into consideration. Doesn't mean you have to spoil a kid with a pacifier every 15 minutes when they're 18 years old. It just means about helping them learn how to understand and make sense of what the different aspects of interacting with other people are, and what the limitations that we have on our free will when we can't just do whatever the heck we want, right? On Sunday, we've got the counterpart, the King of Pentacles, giving me more of an idea that parents are involved, or surrogate parents, foster parents, your family members that are standing in as parents, and it could be older brother or sister. And this is where I think you're finally being heard and making sense of it. And it could be that these are other family members that are stepping in to help you get your expressions across in a controlled way, because sometimes, I could tell you that I know my brother a certain way. One of my brothers and his wife knows him a certain way, but we don't know each other the same way. Neither do we have the same kind of experience. I was raised with this person, so no matter how long it's been since we've seen each other or how much distance the miles create, there's something very strong about an early childhood home relationship with siblings, biologically and otherwise, like stepkids and fosters. I'm telling you that it is amazing to see how strong those bonds can be. And I think, Virgo, that there could be somebody who's willing to go the extra mile to help you make practical use of the ideas that you've gotten your brainstorming on, so that at least in the sense of next year, you might be able to make a bigger difference that will make you happier and just more fun.